I suppose it's time to introduce you guys to the replacement for Bob. Not sure if I'm going to call it Tom or Harry. Might call it Dick. Sheila prefers Tom, but Tom to me sounds a bit like, oh hi, my name's Tom, how are you doing? Whereas Harry's like, oh I'm Harry, where's the bloody beer? So here it is. And I've just collected back from having the brakes sorted out, because I don't buy a car without problems, you know. But seriously, let me talk about this. It's a beautiful day here, as you can see. A bit of wind noise going to be coming in though. But I wanted to come somewhere quiet where I could film this, and although it looks like I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm just the other side of A47, so I don't know if you can pick that road roar up on the camera, but here it is. So it's slightly newer. It's a facelifted model, which doesn't look like anything changed, but Mercedes did change 650 parts on this car compared to the non-facelifted pre-2008 version. So this has had just two keepers. It has had a full main dealer Mercedes-Benz service history all its life. It's done just over 55,000 miles, and I don't think I did a bad deal. Bob, the previous SLK 350, had a number of issues, and they were just getting more and more. It had issues with the AC compressor for the air conditioning. Although the air conditioning worked, the actual compressor was very tired, making all sorts of horrible noises, so that would have had to be replaced. I had issues with the blower fan motor assembly for where it sucks in outside air and puts it in the cabin, because the blower motor at some point had been flooded with rainwater and corroded all inside, so that would have had to be replaced. I had issues with the transmission. First it would just stick occasionally in third gear, and if you pulled over, turn the engine off, and then on again, it would clear itself. But then it started to get stuck in first gear, and turning the engine off, well, that didn't always fix the problem. Then an oil leak developed from the back of the engine, which leaked down onto the exhaust manifold. Now, when you were normally driving along or the engine was hot, it was a drip every, well, few minutes, and it wouldn't smoke, but it would continue to drip out of the engine overnight or a few days if you hadn't used the car. So as you went to start the engine, the exhaust manifold got hot, it would smoke like you wouldn't believe out of the bonnet. So that, and having to have new front discs, well, all of that would cost more than the car was worth. So I had a very sick car, and I was going to sell it, but obviously people were giving me pretty poor offers, and let's face it, fair enough, until the naive people at Mazda Beckles came along, and despite all of this, they said, yeah, we'll give you £4.5 part exchange for this. Oh, well, okay. And so this is how I acquired this one. So this is a metallic silver, and as I said, it is the facelifted model, so it has some more chrome, it has a more pronounced Mercedes badge on the front, and also on the snout here you can see it goes up and down. Now this is all very reminiscent of Formula 1 of the day. Back in middle of 2008 this was produced, but there are some nice upgrades to it, such as having xenon headlights. The previous car only had halogen projector headlights, and the problem with that was, well, they were just crap. I bet you this guy's going to want to turn in here. So I moved the car to let the guy get into his farm, fair enough, but just my luck, middle of nowhere, in the evening, you think, you know, you're safe to come and do a bit to camera and not be disturbed, but no, because it's me. So where were we? So yes, it has the xenon headlights, which are really nice, much clearer, much brighter, much whiter. It's got the headlamp wash, that's a nice little addition there, and it has some stuff under the bonnet that changed as well. They fettled the engine, got better fuel consumption out of it, and increased the power by about 32 horsepower up to 306 horsepower. It's got larger wing mirrors, which is nice, and they have the larger LED indicator repeaters in them. It also has smoked indicator lenses on the rear, slightly different exhausts, and I think they've tuned the sound a little bit more raspy rather than throaty of the other one. And they also put on a fake diffuser at the back. So you also get a little twiddly aerial that you can go through car washes with instead of having to unscrew it every time. But like some SLKs of this era, it does suffer here. This is some polycarbonate. It's part of the lifting sort of mechanism that for the roof, because obviously it's convertible. And I don't know if that shows up how that's gone a bit funny. Expensive to replace, or just take it to a vinyl wrapping place and have it wrapped in gloss vinyl as a cheap way of making it look better. And now the wind's got up as well. Oh. So the other difference about this car is it's got the 17-inch wheels, so they're smaller. Previous car had 18-inch alloy wheels, lower profile tyres obviously. I can't say I notice any difference in the ride quality. People often say, you know, smaller wheels, more profile, better ride quality, softer. It seems much the same. And these are a bit frumpy, I feel. They kind of suit the car, but they also wouldn't look out of place on, well, any old Mercedes really. So I've had a look online at various wheels, maybe 18-inch ones that might look a little bit nicer. So I'm just, jury's out on that. But I do love the style of this car. I had looked at BMW Z4s, and I'm looking at ones from like 2011, 2012 upwards. I looked at Audi TTs, TTS. I looked at the newer SLC and newer look SLK. I want something as a second car that's fun and a bit cheeky. So when I was looking at, you know, Z4s, yes, they're nicer. They have a nicer interior. They sound nicer. They got, you know, better probably build quality. The Audi TT, again, not the Roadster with the soft top. I wouldn't want that, but the, you know, the feel and look of those, I think they're lovely cars. But they're expensive. If you look at a 2012 Z4, 14,500, 15,000 pounds for a decent one with the iDrive system and a 3-litre engine, because I wanted to keep that power that this has got. I didn't want to, you know, gain in comfort and then lose on performance. And a TT, normal 2-litre turbo TT, whilst performance from that 4-cylinder engine is good, it's not 5.4 seconds to 60 as this is. So it all came back to SLK, and I paid 1,700 quid for this, and I don't think that was bad. So I've got a pocket rocket for a cheap price, and that's why I don't begrudge spending some money on it. So what I noticed straight away was really soft brake pedal, and I took it to Quick Fit. I don't know why people have an issue with Quick Fit, to be honest with you. I know that there are some dodgy ones out there, but this is the one at Prince of Wales Road in Norwich, and the manager, I think it's about the management basically, but the manager there is really on top of things, and he's got a really good team. They don't try and upsell stuff or, you know, come away and go, oh look, you've got leaking shock absorbers or, you know, whatever. So and they did find out that the rear brakes were, as he said, pretty dangerous. They were unevenly worn on the passenger side, but very low. Front brakes were all right, but they were more than 50% worn. So I said, well, clearly we're going to have to do something about the rear, so let's just do it all round. So I've got all new pads on, and they use Padgett parts. So that's kind of annoyed me, actually. Not that it's like, oh, they use Padgett parts, but they're the manufacturer that make the OEM brake parts for BMW. And I went out of my way to get proper BMW brake pads for the X5 and new discs and everything, an independent, and because I paid way over, and goodness me, if you went to a BMW dealer, would you even pay more? Where Quick Fit used the same. So I've now got a really firm positive brake pedal. I've obviously got to bed them in, but I can tell already the car's transformed and equal to what the previous car was, which again had really powerful brakes. And they do have very powerful brakes. You've kind of got to be careful in this, because you can get carried away knowing, you know, how quickly you can slow down, and other people around you not so much. So well, it's good to have that braking power. After all, it's a small car, doesn't weigh much, and has some pretty big beefy discs and large pads, and 4-piston calipers on the front, so it will stop. But let's talk about what you get for your money. I'm going to put the top down, I'm going to show you inside, I'm going to show you under the bonnet as well, and well, I think this is a great little car. There it is, transformed, hood down, 20 seconds it takes, and you can operate this in the facelift version at up to 5 miles an hour. Wicked. But transforms the car, and yes, it's got this sort of reputation as a bit feminine, and it's a hairdresser's car and all the rest of it. I'm not really sure why that really came about, but I think a lot of people think, oh, it's just a little, you know, Mercedes, and because lots and lots of people had 1.8 compressor, aka supercharged, or 2-litre engines, and they're a bit surprised when this rocks up and disappears, because it's got the 3.5 litre, plus it's got, you know, the new 3.5 litre. It doesn't hang about, and they're a bit like, oh, okay, didn't expect that, even though it is a bit of a feminine looking car. So underneath the bonnet is the engine, but you can tell it's the improved version because it has the red V, and on the previous version it's a silver V. There are other little telltale signs here and there, but lovely condition underneath, as you can see. No whine, no smoking. It's just had a service, so it's got nice fresh oil in there as well. Runs nice and smooth and quiet, and yeah, it's an engine. Right. Now, it doesn't sound, you know, really raucous. It's not like an Audi TT or a Z4 where they really have a nice throaty exhaust. Oops, let's not fall over. Let's try and film this. But it's all right. And as far as the interior goes, again, this is updated and is a lot more things for me than what the previous car had. So they changed the steering wheel and they made it, well, oddly, a bit thinner. It's not as thick, certainly not as thick as most modern steering wheels are. And unfortunately, the dealer I bought this off went crazy with the cockpit shine, so everything's shiny and slippery, the steering wheel, everything. Ugh, I hate this stuff. But anyway, it has got the maximum tartedness red leather interior, and although the seats are exactly the same, nothing has changed here, they just are so much more supportive and comfortable. So I think the 6 previous owners of Bob, the previous car, worn them out quite a bit, whereas these, very nice. Still, the foam's in, you know, really good condition. The leather's not torn, ripped or anything. It's got the air scarf, which blows hot air out here at your neck. Heated seats. It's also got the updated navigation system called Command, which is a bit clunky by today's standards. It's got a very poor resolution screen, but that's where it began for Mercedes. You know, this design sort of lives on to some of their more new cars, you know, with the way the radio looks. There's the navigation, which looks really sort of old-fashioned now, and of course the telephone system where you have to type in no number there and then press the green button here. I mean, goodness me, you wouldn't have that these days. But you can play a film through a DVD, a CD, you can put music on an SD card, and through a cable and some wizardry that you can buy on Amazon, you can stream Bluetooth, because down here it would have had a phone, an old Nokia phone fitment. So yeah, usual sort of storage under there and in here. The other thing this has got, which many don't have, is the original fitment rear air diffuser, which really does make a difference when you've got the hood down and you're going along at speed, because a lot of the air turbulence would wrap round and come in from behind. So this stops that, which is really nice. Red leather again continues on the doors. They changed the dials, so they had red needles as well. But then there's some weird things that they removed between 2005 and 2008. So the easy entry feature, which would move the steering wheel up and in and the seat back as you took the key out to help getting in and out, has gone. It just moves the steering wheel. I don't know if that's because some kid got trapped behind the seat and couldn't stop it coming back or something, who knows. But it's not an option, it's not in the manual, it's just wasn't there for that model year. There are some funny things like, you know, little hook on the back to put your jacket. There's some nets down there to put stuff. And the boot, surprisingly, is quite large. Even when the roof's folded away, it goes here, as you can see. And this is your load cover. So as long as you keep that in place, you can fit a load of stuff underneath it. All junk, you know, like screen wash and everything else at the moment. But I do think I'm going to have to replace the struts because it's quite hard to lift, but it sort of falls down very quickly. Good old Amazon, 15 quid each. So they're on order, and that would be an easy job to fit. You see how it just sort of falls down. But nice at the back. Sort of quite a meaty. They've widened the bumper just a bit, just to give it a bit more stance than the previous model that I had. So all in all, for the money and for the performance and for a second car for the summer, I think these are really actually underrated. They go like hell. They're quite simple, really. There's not too much to kind of go wrong with them. Yes, the roof is the most complicated part, and it is hydraulic, and it will go wrong at some point. The newer roofs on the Z4s, and you know, it's electric motors, not a hydraulic system. This is a hydraulic system. Loads of little hydraulic wires going off, not wires, you know, pipes with hydraulic fluid in them. And the hydraulic motor can go wrong. There can be, you know, air getting the system, you name it, and it's a complicated, expensive fix. But touch wood, this works just as well as the other roof. I've got to do the seals to stop them squeaking. There's a special stuff that you put on them, and kind of puffs the rubber up slightly and makes it more soft, and it just makes a perfect seal, and you know, stops all the squeaks and rattles basically. So there it is. There is the sort of replacement for Bob, and I'm very happy with it, and I'm even more happy now that it stops properly. So I thought I'd do this video, having done the video of the wheels that got done to Colin, and this is what it's really all about. It's coming out on an evening like this through these twisting roads with the top down, and meeting a tractor coming the other way. No, but you know what I mean. It's just beautiful. It's just right, the weather. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's not too windy, the sun's not too powerful, and it's just an experience to have, well, the wind in your hair, I suppose. And doesn't cost too much to run. I'm certainly not going to be taking it to Mercedes Benz. I'll charge 132 quid just to look at something. £418 for an oil change and look over. You know, why pay that kind of money? It's not sort of specific bits and bobs that only Mercedes Benz can deal with. But certainly not at this age of the car, and not the money I paid for it. As long as it's looked after, that's the main thing. So there we are. Thanks for watching. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn my hand to car blogging and reviews. I would just simply go on too much and lose all of my audience. But if you have been, well done for watching.